Welcome to Sustainable Packaging with Cory Connors. Today's guest is Scott Edwards, the CEO and founder of Dropwater. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. I'm impressed with this idea. It's really innovative. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to explaining it to the audience what you guys have going. It's something I've never seen before, for sure. But before we get there, let's start with, how did you get here?
Yeah, so it started a long time ago, nearly a decade ago, and I studied industrial tech and packaging at Cal Poly here in San Luis Obispo. And we, learned how to essentially, make packaging, and the purpose and learn what the purpose of packaging was, which is, I'm sure one of them is to make the product survive from where it's made to where it's consumed. So you need an oxygen barrier, you need great tensile strength, it needs to protect it, needs to survive drops and be in trucks in Arizona. So basically it needs to be built to last in any environment for a very long time. And, I'm a kiteboarder, surfer, spent a lot of time in the ocean. And 10 years ago, I was well aware of plastic waste entering in our environment and seeing the effects of that. And someone that was studying packaging, I wanted to solve or at least contribute to that problem rather than just making a cap slightly thinner or injection blow molding bottle with less materials, which is not fundamentally solving any problem. I wanted to try to create a solution that would actually have a great impact. And that became my senior project, where I studied under Jay Singh, who's the director of the packaging department here at Cal Poly. And basically, the idea was to not need to transport the product full and to make it at the consumer. So if you change the system, like the distribution and eliminate the need for a shelf life, you can really use different materials that are, not even in the realm of possibility for using traditionally. So that's how we started, Cal Poly, senior project.
Love the concept. It's incredibly unique. And as far as I know, nobody's ever done it before. Can you talk us through how you came up with this innovative idea?
Yeah. So I was given the assignment for basically making a contribution in packaging. And with my background in robotics, I've been building things my whole life. I really wanted to build robots because I thought it would be fun, and I wanted to have some sort of robotics in my senior project. So I decided to make an actual prototype of how might you fill drinks at the point of sale in bottles. And that's how it started. I was in a garage. I believe I got a little bit of funding from friends and family to build a prototype, like thousands of dollars. And that kind of started it off. And then years later, after I graduated, I found out about a team that was doing something similar. And they're a great company called Bevy. And they were doing something a bit different before they became Bevy. It's called Refresh Water Technologies, which is essentially filling and selling drinks at the point of sale. And I thought, man, I can't, this is like what I want to do. This is what I want to dedicate my life to doing, and other people are doing it. So, kind of got a fire lit beneath me, created a business plan in probably a matter of 2 days, told everyone in my whole inbox what I wanted to do. And a few people responded and said like, hey, this sounds kind of interesting. I might want to help you. So that's how it started. Yeah.
That's great, getting some positive feedback right away. Love that.
Yeah.
That's not very common. So that sounds like this was a good idea from the beginning. Can you walk us through how it works?
Absolutely. So we have machines, and they hold stacks of bottles. We can actually fit about 200 bottles per cubic foot, and they stack like cones. And I'm going to grab you and move
Bring us with you. I love it.
This is what the bottle looks like. So it's over 50% just paperboard. This one's clay coated, so we can print on it. Looking for bottles right here. And this is how they look before they're filled and sealed. So the bottom is kind of like a trap door. And we'll move over to a machine. You can see how they stack in the machine. This machine is not actually complete, but this is what they look like. So this is a stack of 40 bottles. So basically like 2 cases of water, and it autonomously pulls the top bottle off, fills it, seals it, gives it to the consumer in about just over 10 seconds. We're trying to get that time down, but
Oh,
Yeah. So
on
you can
demand. Yeah.
on demand, and we have highly concentrated flavor. So, the thing with any bottled drink really is it's the vast majority of the drink is water. And if you just rehydrate the drink at the point of sale, you can reduce the amount of weight and volume shipped by an order of magnitude. So with our packaging, they're all empty and nested together. We can fit 10 times more bottles in a given volume. And then also we take out all the water weight. So it's less than a tenth of the weight. And we have highly concentrated bags that are in the machine. So we have like lemonade, cucumber, spa water, guava. We've made green tea and functional drinks with like ashwagandha, like calming stuff, energetic stuff. And you can even choose how many milligrams of caffeine you want. So you can make
Oh,
a very
amazing.
a very wide variety of drinks. And we're going to expand it significantly to try to get like the majority of the consumer beverage market can be sold through our machines. But we're just shipping the ingredient in that most concentrated form possible and then rehydrating it. So we can take advantage of just not shipping as much stuff.
That's amazing. So what you showed me was a chipboard container. Is it just paper or does it have some kind of a poly liner? When I
Yeah.
looked at your website, it looked like there was a bag inside. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the water holding assembly,
Gotcha.
and it's cap, a shoulder, and a film bag. And we've used a lot of different materials, but and then also a chipboard. So this is 18-point paperboard, and it just has manufacturer's edge on one side. Make it on a standard automated folder, and so we can make a lot of these per hour and do custom branding for events or
Great design.
locations and stuff.
What a neat idea. Totally innovative. Is the plastic recyclable?
So we can choose what polymer we want to use depending on the location. So if they want compostable, we use compostable materials. If they want recyclable, we go recyclable. But we really want to use as little material as possible, and I think we've done a great job doing that. As you probably know, edge strength is very good in chipboard or
Yes.
other corrugates and stuff. And so we're actually looking at opening another line of our products that are shelf stable. After doing some testing for life on the shelf, it's a very small subset of what we want to do. Like our main business is going to be bottling at the point of, but another source of revenue could be filling these and then shipping them, because we've discovered our package can actually withstand about 80 pounds of crushing force.
Wow.
Just with the 10, 12 grams of paperboard and 10 to 14 grams of polymer. So it's
Amazing.
like better performance than 40 to 50 gram polyethylene bottle with a lot less material, and predominantly using paper, which is recycled a lot more here in the United States.
Yeah, very easy to recycle paper curbside in most areas of the USA for sure, and lots of the world. So that's a great option there. Very innovative concept. Wow, this is really cool. What if somebody wanted to buy a case of those? Could you have somebody working at a store that's like an employee, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we are looking at like an industrial strength version to, basically if you could think of a big retailer that sells a lot of bottled drinks, instead of
Yeah.
having, giant cases of, thousands of bottles of water coming in every day, we put like a mini bottling plant there and ship them in a highly condensed form. So, hundreds of bottles per cubic foot, and produce as needed on site. That is not launched yet. Right now we're focusing on, a higher margin market, which is to consumers in places like airports and stuff. So we can charge $2, $2.50, $3 per product.
Yeah.
That portion of the market will come in later when we have higher volume, and when we can compete against, the Kirklands of the world, or, the discount priced bottled water of the world.
Yeah. I love the idea. I think it's got a lot of potential, and well done. Good for you and your team. Where are you at in the stage of development? Do you have some of these in stores?
Yeah, we're in a number of airports across the United States, from Newark to Cincinnati to the Silicon Valley. We have a couple of machines in the San Jose airport, and we're kind of at the tail end of a prototyping stage and market validation. And
Right.
now we're ramping up with a machine that is far superior than the machines in the field. Much smaller, a lot less moving parts, easier to assemble, and just taking all the learnings that we've had over the past
Right.
5 years and put it into a product we want to scale with.
I love the idea of the custom print. Have you had stores want to make it co-branded like Fred Meyer or
Yeah.
something like that? Is that pretty common?
Yeah. Yeah, I can give you two examples. One of them are good friends at New Milk, which is on Shark Tank, and they make nut milks at the point in places like Whole Foods. We made them a 32-ounce bottle, so much bigger, and they fill these bottles at the point of sale, and it only needs 1+ week shelf life after it's been filled, and you put a little label on it, says when it expires. And we made bottles for them, co-branded, and it was New Milk branded, kind of powered by drop water. And then we've also done custom branding for Twitter at an event where they hired us to bring a machine and give out bottles for free. So they pre-bought all the bottles. We've also made custom branding for an airport, and we look forward to doing a lot more custom branding and advertising at places like arenas, and maybe you can have game by game advertising. So if the Lakers are playing, you can have Lakers logos and whatever sponsor of the event or whatever messaging you want to get into consumers' hands in the arena.
Incredible.
Because we have very low MOQs compared to other packaging companies. There's just printing straight onto paperboard, or not then laminating it, and we don't need high volume to make the business work. So
what's the MOQ? And for the audience, that's the minimum order quantity.
Yeah, one box. So one box is 480 bottles, and so it's 12 stacks of 40, and you just put these stacks go into the machine. If you can put a stack of cups like onto a table, you can service our machines. And so 3 stacks are in the machine. They kind of act like little Pez dispensers. Once you take out all the bottles from one stack, it goes on to the next one, and then you get like a low inventory notification that's texted or emailed to whoever's servicing the machine, and they go refill it. And we can also, there are a lot of fun things that we're going to experiment with. If a machine is getting down to the last few bottles, we could increase the price to try to get someone servicing machines to service like a bunch of machines at the same time, so they only have to make one trip, and kind of try to like get them all down to low inventory at the same time and adjust the price on the fly autonomously to make that happen.
I see. So you're encouraging sales or
you could,
or discouraging.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And with digital print, you could run just a few dozen of these things and make it viable, like you said, for a special event or a UFC match or something like that. This is amazing. The potential here is huge.
Thank you. Yeah.
Love the idea. I could see these at businesses, at industrial parks, at Disneyland, all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Just like people collect popcorn containers at Disneyland. They could collect drop water boxes, or you call them bottles, even though they're chipboard.
Yeah, we actually should call them cartons. And it's really like drinking out of a bag that has a paper tube around it. So all of our marketing materials, we call them cartons, and we should probably just call them cartons. But yeah, we would love to be in Disney. If you have any Disney connections, it'd be perfect. We can make drinks on Disney's theme parks. It'd be amazing.
Oh, I just went a few weeks ago with my family and tried the blue milk for the first time in the Star Wars land. It's amazing, and to have that in a keepsake container, I tell you what, that's going to sell fast. So I can see this thing really, really going quickly. So is that the future? Are you hoping for things like that to happen?
Absolutely. I think, highlighting, Star Wars, I think if you were to go in the Star Wars universe and like see a civilization that's really sorted things out, that's truly sustainable, I think they probably have something more like drop water, where we're not bottling water in a central location, wrapping it in plastic, and it takes a year to get to the consumer. I think they'd probably be using the water that's already there and doing something way more sustainable and efficient. So I think this would be in the Star Wars universe. Yeah,
I agree. So I absolutely could see Princess Leia drinking one of these things. That makes sense to me, right? Brilliant. Totally brilliant. Do you put instructions on the carton to tell the consumer what to do with the packaging?
Yeah, we do. So, and I'm not sure the last run it did, and we just changed them. So we want them to mechanically separate the polymer from the paper and recycle the paper. And you have a few different options. You know, if you do have a municipality that accepts ASTM D6400 compostable products, you can compost it. And you know, if you do happen to have a bottle that is polyethylene, recycle the whole thing. But definitely always mechanically separate. So just pull it apart. It's really easy to do. It's like 4.6 pounds of full force to pop it open and then separate your two materials. So
I love that you know that. Only a founder would know that. That's brilliant. You obviously a scientist and have figured this out. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, this thing's. I'm excited to watch what happens with you guys. Will you come back on in 6 months or a year and keep us updated?
100%. Yeah. It's going to take a while. So maybe every 6 months for the next 10 years or something.
Okay, we'll have a recurring drop water episode. I love it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, how do people get in touch with you if they want to buy one of your machines or 20 of them?
Yeah, go to dropwater.co and go to contact us, fill out the form. I get an email every time, and so does Zach and our whole team, about incoming inquiries. So just make an inquiry, we'll reach back out and we'll sort it out.
I love it. Well done. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being on, Scott.
Thanks. Thank you, Cory. Likewise. Yeah.
And I'd like to thank Landsberg Aurora for sponsoring the podcast. If you're listening, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode and give us a review. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.